Good morning. My name is Nicolas Huchet from New York. It's not New York. And I really like the title of this session because it's called The Patient is the New Sun. And I am a patient. So this is a bit of my story. In 2002, I was a mechanical manual worker in a company, and I had an accident. So have you heard of Second Life? You know the game Second Life, do you remember? So that day, my second life started because I had to be amputated. And I went to the rehabilitation center, and the day they decided that they had to take my hand off after reimplantation, the doctor said that there is hands on the market that move, and I can have a new life, my second life. And so I went to the rehabilitation center, and after 2 weeks of getting back to life and stuff, they showed me a videotape of the hand, and the hand is this. So it's called, and I did not know at this moment that would be my best friend for the rest of my life, and her name is myoelectric prosthesis. It's not very sexy, I know. But let's call her Cindy. That's okay. So Cindy works with electrodes that convert the muscle activity into electricity. It's not a new technology. It's a very old technology. It's called EMG. It's something we use in hospitals. And so by contracting muscles, you can create some electricity, and this electricity is powered by a battery. And inside here, you have a motor that can move the hand. And with this, thanks to this, you can get back 80% of your daily task, like have a coffee, drink, put on your clothes, cooking, stuff. And so this is it. So I saw a videotape of a woman able to drive and able to do shopping, and I was very far from this. And I actually moved from penguin, as we say, manchot in French, to crab, so which was not the best, but even if crabs live in warmer places than penguins. And so this has been my life for the last 10 years. And I never saw people around me with such things, and anytime I see people, they kind of wonder the same way I was wondering. The day I saw this for the first time, people were like, yeah, that's great, And I was, yeah, it's okay. So, and in 2012, so 10 years later, I discovered this on the internet. So I saw this and I said, okay, that's kind of a very interesting new piece of technology. And these are the 21st century myoelectric hands that we can now call Bionic Hand, if it's easier. But the real name would be polydigital hands because they can move each fingers independently. They work the same way, with the electrodes. And they have more movement, and they look cool, actually, They look like a little bit robotic, futuristic. So when I saw that, I said, okay, great. Suddenly, I was feeling kind of happy because there is only one kind of myoelectric hands on the market because it's a very rare disability, like 10% of amputations are upper limb amputations. So it's a small market, and nobody wants to put money in it, and this is how I understood the secret of industry. That we are not trying to solve problems, we just need to make money. That's the reality. So everybody wants to save the world, but everybody wants to earn money. So this is a fact. We can criticize it or not, that's the way it is. So I wanted to have this hand, and talked with my doctor, who said to me, well, it's not that great. And in the back of my mind, I was thinking, but how the hell can he say that? Because he has 2 hands, you know? And then I talked to my prosthesis, and he said, well, it's not that great. And I said, but I have a little bit of motivation about my disability, and these people just, send me back on the floor. And, it's strange, like, I expected doctors to be the people that try to elevate you, because my parents couldn't help me about this. So I was expecting something from the doctors. But in fact, I realized that, okay, I'm on my own with this problem. And then they said, okay, it's you cannot have this anyway because it's 40,000 euros. And prosthesis shouldn't cost an arm. Okay, thank you. So yeah, a prosthetic hand costs a lot of money. That's a problem. And in France, we have the healthcare that takes in charge this kind of stuff. It comes from the Sécurité Sociale. After the Second World War, the government decided to help people. This is why we live today in France in a system that everybody is more or less equal. If you have an accident at work or in your car and you lose your hand, you will have access to this. In Italy, it's different. In Spain, it's different. In England, in Germany, it's different. And I won't even tell you about Poland or India or Brazil or Morocco. Yeah? So I started to try to raise funds to have this money, to have this hand. And at the same time, I discovered that, in fact, there is a lot of new hands. So this is a Scottish company, this is a British company, this is a German company. Very interesting. So I just wanted to test them. I wanted it so much. Like move on up, with your life and with my problems. And that was in 2012. You remember 2012? Le changement, c'est maintenant. You remember? So I was waiting for that change because I was a bit lost in my life. I remember not being very confident, no job, not really. So I was waiting for the 21st of December, to be honest, the upside down stuff. I wanted something to happen. And in this October 2012, I discovered this, Fab Labs. So it's, to make it simple, it's like a library in Mediatek. And instead of books, you have books, but you can do digital prototyping, digital fabrication. This is where you find open source computers with open source softwares, 3D printers, laser cutting machines. And when I saw, so this is Fab Lab in France, Lille, there is, I think, 100 Fab Labs, or maybe 80 Fab Labs in France. There is about 500 Fab Labs worldwide, and every year there is a Fab Lab meeting. This year it was in Boston, last year it was in Barcelona, next year it's going to be in China. So it's a massive movement. It comes from the maker movement. And this is what you can see into a Fab Lab. And as a mechanical worker, I'm very familiar with it, and I was thinking, okay, cool, that's a way I can get back to my old life and do something. And when I saw this is what you can do with a 3D printer, but you just, just because I like the hope and love. And I met these guys, and I saw the 3D printer, and I said, okay, nice, you're engineers, but is it possible to make a hand with that machine? And they said, yeah, maybe, but why do you want to make a hand? And I show my hand, and usually people are a bit, sorry. And these guys, the geeks, they said, wow, wow, how does it work? Yeah, woo, can you take it off? No, sorry. Can we, no. And they were very enthusiastic. And I remember he said to me, let's go on Thingiverse. There is InMove Hand. It works with Arduino, and it's open source, so we can make it. And I didn't get a word. Like you. I didn't understand what he was saying. So what he was saying is that there is Thingiverse, which is a website. And by putting the hand word into search, we found a hand, which is this hand, And it's open source because it's based on Arduino electronics. It's a small electronic card that costs 20 euros. And it's open source, yeah, and you can 3D print it. So now, encore? So I came back home with some lights into my eyes because in Rennes it's gray. So suddenly it was, everything was light, you know.
When it is holding,
came back home and watched this video.
It actually holds really well because it's really tied up on the tool. And then there's a good grabbing power. I'm not saying that it's so strong, but it's all right.
So you can see on this video that each finger moves independently. And I thought, okay, let's forget about the sponsorship from Autobag company or the Scottish company. I was thinking about, get a sponsor to have the hand. And I thought suddenly, my mind just changed. Okay, it was my 2012. I just thought, okay, maybe it's possible to make this. Maybe it's possible to put my electrodes on it. Maybe it's possible that I can control this hand. This guy is doing it with his keyboard. Maybe these guys can make it happen so I could control it. And the hand looks so cool, So I contacted the guy, expecting he's from San Francisco or Tokyo, a very busy guy. And he replied to me, saying, well, sorry, I don't know anything about prosthetics. I'm doing about robotics, but you can try if you want. So we tried. And this is in the garage of my friend, August 2013. I'm learning how to use a 3D printer. We have the files of the finger. We are going to 3D print. And with a bunch of friends. So I met some people interested in helping me. And we were about 5-6 people, engineers, mechatronicians, teachers, volunteers, students, everybody gave a bit of the time, a bit of, We asked the prosthesist if they could help us in making a socket. We talked with the doctors that thought we were a bit crazy. And so we just, we tried sometimes, Sunday, Saturday afternoon, Friday night, up, hanging out, and doing this at the same time. And this is how I learned to make. So this is, a hand made of plastic. And we presented the hand in Rennes in June. Just, I remember it was in a box, and he put it on my forearm, and I was just moving it. It was just working. So they said, cool, that this is the hand. Yeah, cool. So we made a bionic hand for amputees. Let's put it on the internet so people can make it. And this is where the patient is very important, is that the engineer is happy, but the patient is not. But in that case, I'm not a patient. I'm just in the middle. I'm just a beta tester. And of course, I'm not happy with this because if it moves, it doesn't mean it can grab stuff. It doesn't mean I can use it. In fact, I can't. But I can check hands far better than I check hands with this one. And I made it myself, which becomes a value to my disability. And this is the heart of the thing. It's the most important. And the cost is 300 euros. So everybody can make it. You just need some people to help you, a bit of knowledge, and you can find everything online. And this is the creator of the hand, which is actually the creator of a full robot, open source robot, called InMove. And this hand is today in a museum in Trocadero. Sorry, it's the best thing I can say in English. And another video. So that's actually the hand you could see at museum.
Ce circuit est un microcontrôleur. Il reçoit les signaux électriques recueillis sur le muscle par le capteur, les interprète et les transforme en ordre moteur pour faire bouger les doigts de la prothèse.
So I got a new job. It was another joke. And I could do my meditation again after 12 years. Obviously this is just a prototype. But at the end, you know, some people ask me, yeah, it must be very heavy, or do you live with it? Or what can you do with it? So I have to explain that I cannot do anything with it. And it's actually lighter than a real hand because this is just plastic. And all the stuff, all the components are on my forearm. Instead of this hand, everything is inside. But I know we are always looking for results. You know, you want to test, you want to help people, you want to, you know. But actually, from my point of view, the most interesting journey has been this now. Searching for the answer, looking for what to do, how to improve, meet people. I'm forced to change my habits. I'm forced to change the way I think because there is a lot of things I don't know, a lot of people I have to deal with. And this is very interesting. So it's not when you win the race, I know I'm going to be philosophical, but it's not winning the race, it's about, you know, going through the journey. I always think about Tour de France. You know, they win, they are happy, but in fact, they remember that time they were halfway through and thinking, I'm not going to make it. And they had to go deep inside. And this is the most interesting in research, from my point of view. And as long as I keep on thinking and trying, this is going to be interesting. I'm not, of course, I'm looking tomorrow to live with something that will replace this hand, but it's very interesting to work. This is the team, so a bunch of punks, surfers, geeks, bicycles guys, hipsters, Americans, hippies. And this is, so, and after this massive, after that, we just thought, okay, what should we do? Should we create a startup? What should we do? A foundation? What do we want to do? We didn't know. So we just created an association, foundation, and we called it My Human Kit, because we don't want to be creators of robotic hands, but we want to work on independency, autonomy, more generally. So what we want to do is to work on technical solutions for disability, and we want to create a place where people can come and learn how to fix themselves. It can be the mind, it can be the body. But I've been learning for the last 3 years that I'm working on this project that by being the actor of my problem, I'm actually moving this problem into a solution. And it works for me because I have like a strong disability, but it works for anything. So if you have, everybody has weaknesses, okay? And we see our weaknesses that like something we have to hide because we are not proud of it. But in fact, it's experience. It's just an experience. I'm a disabled person. I was a disabled person. Today, I'm more an expert in bionic hands. This is the way I see myself, and this is the way people see me as well. So My Human Kit is made to multiply my story, which is a disabled person that creates a community of people, 5, 10 people around her, to help her to find a solution. Because we have limits, things we cannot do, like we cannot fly, and we have barrier, is that correct? And the barriers, sometimes they are just the fear and all the imagination we have that will make the limit even farther. If we take off the barrier and we have the limit, just the limit, then we get closer. So with a little bit of help and motivation, we can just go over it. And the proof is that I was not able to buy a robotic hand, and today I'm able to make my own. And that works for anything. 4 minutes, 22, I'm finished. Do you have any questions? Merci, thank you. If you have any question, I think it's very interesting to debate, anyway.
Thank you for your presentation. I am wondering if you are in relation with other startup they made the product as one Vandercraft. The question of sharing practice and experience, they did 4 legs. You are thinking and you are in collaboration to do 4 hands and for all human body. I am wondering because for this type of things, it's very important to hear, to learn, and to improve.
Yeah, there is a British startup called Open Bionics. It's not on the, but it's the hand we are working on today. They are based on an open source business model, so we are able to modify it. So we work a little bit together. I bought the hand from them, and I can test it. And this hand is 3D printed as well. So it's using new technologies, like 3D scan. And there is another startup in Italy called Bionic, and I'm going to meet them soon to try. Yeah. And like 2 years ago, like doctors and prosthesists were, looking at me, looking at us like, we were strangers. And now they are inviting us to participate to debates about this kind of problem, because I think they understood that it's important to mix people. And I know we are here today, so I think we all agree that we have to mix when the patient has to be in the middle. But it's important to spread the word about the future is to be 3, the magic number is 3, I think. So there is the scientist or the engineer, there is the doctor, and there is the patient or the client. Call it anything you want, but you must be 3.
Thank you for your great presentation. I wonder, this is real patient empowerment, what you do, and this is a change of role, so from patient to expert, basically. I wonder how the industry is taking on that, because if you look into the pharmaceutical industry, they want to empower patients in order to sell more drugs to them, rather than having them engage into drug development, because that's so complicated. How does Otto Bock, for instance, react on what you guys are doing? Do they perceive you as competition, or do they work together with you?
So first of all, I want to say that, it's true, I think the pharmaceutical industry wants us just to be consumers. So I think we don't like that, but it's going to change only if we change it, because nobody will change it. So we are the only ones able to change it. So I've just decided to do it because I was tired of complaining all the time of the system. So today I find myself more in peace. Then about Otto Bock, so I'm going to be in Berlin from April to June, because Otto Bock has opened a Fab Lab with Berlin, with the Fab Lab in Berlin. So I'm going to be there for 3 months as a start, and everything I will do will be open source. This is the deal for now. We're just going to try. So and again, there was me afraid of Otto Bock, and there was Fab Lab Berlin to make the connection between the two of us. So I think this is the future of the change. It's not about the technology, it's about how humans will be able to communicate, to understand each other. This is the change, I think.
So I understood that it was much favorable for you to work by yourself and not go to the expensive devices, but there is a lot of great research to make a real hands and like interfacing the nerves, and I cannot believe that it's possible to do by oneself all these research, and so there must be interaction with the
higher ground.
Expensive research and expensive pharmaceutical.
Yeah.
So how do you deal with this?
That's exactly what I understood. Yeah, I don't want to be just a maker in my garage making something. I want to make something I can wear. And so I went to Johns Hopkins University to meet Dr. Chi, which is the doctor that do the reimplantation for people. They made a $100 billion prosthetic project called modular limb prosthetics. It's a very big arm that I tried. I went to Chicago, to Italy, to try to the Biorobotic Institute. They are in the labs, So they are like, they say it's great, and that's it. So I don't know what's going to happen, but I know I need them, but I look at what they do so I can learn about what they do. Then, yeah, I would like them to be involved. But there is one thing that's very important, is that the hands, the new hands that are made by the industry, I don't like them because they don't understand that it's too heavy. Like they make hands that weight the weight of a real hand, which is about 500 grams. But when it comes to prosthetics, it must be light, especially for women, for kids, for all the people. So new hands today, they are very sophisticated, but they are too heavy, too slow, and not enough force. So I think they didn't work enough with the people. But I want to be the link between the DIY scene to the higher ground of research. This is the goal, because if we don't work together, it's not going to happen. So, and that's the most difficult thing. Thank you, Nicolas. Thank you.